no one talking about the riveting game of division leaders on Week 6 at Ford Field between the 49ers and the Lions. Instead, what they're talking about is this, the game after handshake. The traditional post-game handshake was, well, a bit untraditional. The Lions coach Jim Schwartz and 49ers coach Jim Harbaugh almost came to blows following an emotionally charged end to the game in which the 49ers defeated the once undefeated Lions 25-19. Hello everyone, and welcome to St. Paul Lutheran Church's Fantasy Football Devotions. It's week 6, and I'm your host, Pastor Aaron Layne. So here's the deal. We all have probably seen a million times what I just showed you, the infamous handshake that happened on Sunday's game between the Lions and the 49ers. After watching that, I got to thinking about hospitality. And what does it mean to have Christian hospitality? And I actually found some pretty neat things that I thought I'd share with you today. First off the bat is, are we supposed to do hospitality? Well, Romans 12:13 says this. Share with the Lord's people who are in need. Practice hospitality. We also hear another example from the New Testament book of 1 Peter. 1 Peter chapter 4 verses 7 through 11 say this. The end of all things is near. Therefore be alert and of sober mind, so that you may pray. Above all, love each other deeply, because love covers a multitude of sins. Offer hospitality to one another without grumbling. Each of you should use whatever gift you have received to serve others, as faithful stewards of God's grace in its various forms. If anyone speaks, they should do so as one who speaks the very words of God. If anyone serves, they should do so with the strength God provides, so that in all things God may be praised through Jesus Christ. To him be the glory and the power forever and ever. Amen. Of course, a great example of Christian hospitality also comes from the Gospel of Matthew, the 25th chapter, verses 34 through 43. The king basically says, Come, you who are blessed my Father, for your inheritance in the kingdom prepared for you since the creation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you invited me in. I needed clothes, and you clothed me. I was imprisoned, and you came and visited me. And the people look at him, and they're like, well, wait, when were you naked? When were you in prison? When were you hungry or thirsty? And he says, Truly I tell you, whatever you did for one of the least of these, brothers and sisters of mine, you did to me. That's practicing Christian hospitality. So those are some biblical examples of hospitality. You know, we could go Old Testament and New Testament. Certainly we've had some New Testament examples here, but also in the Old Testament, you know, there were actual Old Testament laws that addressed how to be hospitable to somebody. In the Old Testament, we hear stories like from Abraham, Lot and the angels, Rahab and the spies, Abigail and David, the widow of Zarephath and Elijah. Listen, we could go on and on and on about biblical examples, but we kind of want to keep this devotion short, unlike our sermons at church. So really the question comes down to, how do you practice hospitality in a Christian way? How do you show the love of Jesus to others in a way that, well, it might cause you to, step out of your way to show it? I know with Jim Harbaugh and Jim Schwartz, the head coaches we saw at the beginning of this devotion, Jim Harbaugh, I don't think meant anything by it, anything malice, but it was interpreted by Jim Schwartz in a different way. Sometimes we Christians, we have the best of intentions. I once read a book entitled, Why Do Bad Christians Happen to Good People? I actually just followed a pickup truck that had a bumper sticker on it that said, God, please protect me from your followers. Sometimes we don't practice the Christian faith and way of hospitality. Sometimes we get caught up in our own lives, and that's a very human thing to do. Being caught up in a moment happens. But what God calls us to be mindful of is our neighbor around us. We're always, just like in the 10 Commandments, the first 3 commandments are all about how we are to interact with God, and the last 7 are how we are to interact with each other. I think it's important to God that we always need to be thinking this way, our relationship between God and us. But we also need to be thinking about our relationship this way, the other part of the cross, how we interact with other people as well. Interacting with God and us, interacting with us and other people, our neighbors. So that's a devotion for this week. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you again next week. Good luck out there on the fantasy football field. We'll see you at church.